Society's image of wealth is completely backwards, and the internet has only made the problem worse. We live in a world where we see someone driving a brand new Mercedes, wearing designer clothes, and taking tropical vacations, and we automatically assume they are rich. But the truth is, real wealth is entirely about what you build behind the scenes, not what you show off to strangers on the street. While fake wealth is loud, desperate, and often funded entirely by massive credit card debt, true wealth is silent, secure, and completely invisible. In fact, we are living in a split-screen economy. On one side, you have people making $150,000 a year who are completely stressed out and living paycheck to paycheck because they spend every single dime on upgrading their lifestyle. On the other side, you have people quietly building massive fortunes who look completely average. If you are building real wealth, it is often quiet, boring, and half the time it feels like absolutely nothing is happening. If you are ready to stop playing the status game and want to learn how to build real, quiet wealth, hit that subscribe button right now. Let us expose the 10 undeniable signs that you are secretly wealthy. Sign 1. Your lifestyle is intentionally boring. The first sign is that your daily financial life is incredibly boring and repetitive. Secretly wealthy people do not reinvent their lifestyle every single year to chase new trends, and they certainly do not make impulsive purchases just to signal their relevance to other people. Making the exact same predictable, boring financial decisions month after month is the ultimate sign of a successful, wealth-building machine. Let us look at a real example of how this plays out. Imagine a 28-year-old making $65,000 a year who chooses to drive a reliable, used Honda Civic and automatically invests $500 every single month into a standard index fund. Her coworker makes the exact same salary, but finances a brand new luxury BMW, completely draining her ability to invest. Fast forward to age 65, and the boring investor who drove the Honda will have over $4 million, while the coworker who prioritized looking rich will be forced to work well into her 70s. While everyone else is stressing over financing a $90,000 luxury truck to look successful, the secretly wealthy purposefully make their money boring so their actual life can be rich. They understand that flashy lifestyles are incredibly fragile, but quiet, repetitive financial habits are remarkably resilient. Sign 2. You measure wealth in time, not dollars. The second sign is that you no longer measure your success by the size of your bank account. You measure it by how much of your life you actually control. Once money becomes a proper tool, the fundamental question you ask yourself changes from what material items you can buy to how much of your own time you can buy back. Secretly wealthy people protect their time fiercely and say no to things much more often. There is a powerful realization that happens when you truly grasp this concept. Financial expert Mel Abraham talks about a moment when his 6-year-old son drew a picture of him at school. The drawing showed Mel standing in front of 2 computer screens with a phone pressed to each ear, looking completely stressed. It was a mirror into his soul that made him realize he was trading away his precious time with his family for the illusion of success. True wealth gives you the time to think, the time to rest, and the time to be truly present with the people you love. If you measure your wealth by the autonomy you have over your daily schedule and your ability to walk away from a toxic job without panicking, you possess real, undeniable wealth. Sign 3. You hold cash as decision insurance. The third sign is a complete reframing of the traditional emergency fund. Secretly wealthy people do not hold a massive pile of cash because they think it will make them rich. They hold a buffer of 3 to 6 months of living expenses, so they are never forced to make panicked, emotional decisions. This cash protects the foundation of everything else they have built. When life throws a massive curveball, like a medical emergency, a major home repair, or a sudden job loss, they do not have to sell their investments out of fear, and they certainly do not have to reach for a credit card charging 22% interest. In fact, crossing the threshold of having $20,000 saved completely transforms your psychology. You shift out of scarcity mode, where every unexpected flat tire feels like a disaster, and you move into abundance mode. Banks actually hate people who have this much cash saved because they stop paying $35 overdraft fees. They refuse to take out predatory payday loans, and they pay their credit cards off in full every single month. Cash does not grow your wealth. It acts as a permanent insurance policy that protects your peace of mind and gives you the leverage to walk away from bad situations. Sign 4. You think in systems, not willpower. The fourth sign is that you absolutely do not rely on daily discipline to save money. Secretly wealthy people stop asking what they should do next, and they start asking what system can remove this decision forever. They understand that relying on daily willpower is a terrible long-term strategy because willpower eventually gets exhausted. If your financial success depends on you being perfectly disciplined every single day, your plan is entirely too fragile. Instead, the wealthy operate like engineers. They automate their savings, their investments, and their bill payments so their money grows quietly in the background without requiring constant choices. For example, they might use a conscious spending plan where 50 to 60% of their take-home pay goes to fixed costs, 10% automatically flows into investments, and another 10% is automatically transferred to savings. Because this all happens the exact day after they get paid, the money disappears before they ever have a chance to spend it. The truth that surprises most people is that wealthy people are not necessarily more disciplined, they are just more heavily engineered. If you let your automated systems do the heavy lifting for you, you are operating exactly like the wealthy. Sign 5. Your spending is values-driven, not income-driven. The fifth sign is successfully breaking the vicious cycle of lifestyle inflation, which is often called the hedonic treadmill. This is where most high-income earners lose the financial game. Their income goes up, and their lifestyle automatically expands to perfectly match their new paycheck. They get a raise, so they immediately upgrade their car, move to a nicer apartment, or eat at more expensive restaurants. Secretly wealthy people know that just because you can afford something does not mean it belongs in your life. They are incredibly intentional with their spending, choosing to spend only on things that actually add value to their lives, rather than impulse buys designed to numb stress. If you get a $10,000 raise, and you consciously choose to keep your lifestyle exactly the same while investing the difference, you are building massive financial margin. Margin is the absolute fuel for your freedom. Your decisions become internally referenced based on a rich life plan you designed for yourself, not based on what clever marketers or society tells you to buy. Sign 6. You refuse to outsource your identity. The sixth sign is that you absolutely refuse to audition for the approval of strangers. Secretly wealthy people do not become walking billboards for luxury brands just to broadcast a fake status to the world. We all know someone who finances the absolute base model of a BMW or buys a flashy designer belt simply to look successful, spending 20 to 30% of their income on the illusion of wealth. When your internal identity is stable, your financial decisions get much quieter and much stronger. Insecure people feel the constant need to explain and show off every single purchase they make, often acting as constant one-uppers in every conversation. If you mention a nice vacation, they have to interrupt to make sure you know they flew business class to France. Secure people, on the other hand, simply decide what adds value to their lives and move forward without needing a round of applause. If you have stopped letting social media define what success looks like for you, and you no longer feel the need to constantly upgrade your life for appearances, you have mastered true upper-class behavior. Sign 7. Market crashes excite you. The seventh sign is exactly how you react when the economy takes a massive hit. While amateur investors panic and sell everything when the stock market drops 20% or 30%, the secretly wealthy see market dips as massive clearance sales. They understand that every major market crash in history, including the dot-com bust, the 2008 financial crisis, and the 2020 pandemic drop, has eventually recovered and reached new all-time highs. Instead of logging into their accounts and feeling sick to their stomach, the quietly wealthy get genuinely excited because their automated monthly contributions are suddenly buying significantly more shares at a steep discount. During the 2008 crash, people who panic sold locked in massive losses, while those who kept consistently buying watched their wealth explode during the recovery. The investors who become truly wealthy use volatility to their advantage, recognizing that downturns are the only moments when the market hands them absolute bargains. When your fear turns into excitement during a recession, that is one of the clearest signals that your wealth compounding is about to take off. Sign 8. You have emotional liquidity. The eighth sign is a subtle but incredibly powerful psychological trait. When a deal falls apart, a massive unexpected expense hits, or the economy shakes, some people completely implode under the pressure. Secretly wealthy people possess emotional liquidity, meaning they pause and carefully assess the situation rather than reacting impulsively out of sheer terror. Consider the classic story of two investors during a massive market crash: Panic Paul and Lazy Larry. Paul constantly reads the news, gets terrified by the headlines, and sells his entire portfolio at the bottom to stop the pain. Lazy Larry literally forgets his account password, continues automatically investing every month, and does absolutely nothing. Years later, Larry is hundreds of thousands of dollars ahead, while Paul is still trying to figure out when it is safe to invest again. Deep financial literacy creates immense emotional stability, allowing the secretly wealthy to remain perfectly calm around money and market swings. Calm is the compound interest for your life, and possessing it proves your internal wealth. Sign 9. Your money is building a machine. The ninth sign is that you have realized earning more money from your physical labor does not make you free. Building a money machine does. You know you are secretly wealthy when you shift your focus from grinding harder for a salary to building an investment portfolio that generates its own returns. True wealth happens when you reach the crossover point, which is the exact moment your investments start generating more growth in a single year than you are contributing from your own paycheck. In the early years, you have to do all the heavy lifting, scraping together your savings. But if you keep investing steadily until you reach a substantial portfolio, say $1 million, a standard 7% return hands you $70,000 a year without you lifting a single finger. Your money has officially become your best employee, working 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, with absolutely no vacation time. When your money works harder than you do, and you stop chasing income to start chasing assets, you have reached escape velocity. Sign 10. Money is no longer the point. The final sign is the ultimate realization of the secretly wealthy. Money is not the actual goal. It is simply the tool. If you see money as the paintbrush and your actual life as the blank canvas, you stop obsessing over the scoreboard. Most people stare at the paintbrush their entire lives and completely forget to actually paint their masterpiece. Secretly wealthy people stop checking their net worth constantly to feel successful, and money simply fades into the background. It stops being about daily survival and starts being about what kind of legacy you want to leave behind for your children or your community. You ask yourself bigger questions, like whether you want to fund scholarships, start a charity, or guarantee that your family is protected forever. When money works properly, it does not need a microphone. It just continues to work silently in the background while you chase the richness of a life lived entirely on your own terms. True financial freedom is not about showing off, buying flashy status symbols, or pretending you have it all figured out. It is the calm, confident, and quiet control of having options, eliminating high-interest debt, and building a money machine that works while you sleep. Stop playing the exhausting game of looking wealthy and start doing the boring, repetitive work required to actually become wealthy. If you are ready to master the systems of real wealth and build a life of absolute freedom, hit that subscribe button right now and join our community.